Hey guys, welcome back to the another new video. So today we'll solve primary department for each employee's problem. Problem number 1789. So let's start the problem. So we have an employee table that holds the columns employee ID, department ID, and primary flag. So employee ID with department ID is the primary key. So combination of columns with the unique values for this table. Employee ID is the ID of the employee. Department ID is the department in which the employee belongs. And the primary flag column is of type enum. Means it has only two values basically. That is Y or N basically. So if a flag is said to be Y, then the department is said to be primary department of the employee. If the flag is N in the primary flag column, then the corresponding department ID is said to be not the primary. So we have to find out employees with their corresponding primary department. Okay. So employees can belong to multiple departments. When the employee join other department, they need to decide which department is the primary department. Note that when an employee belongs to only one department, the primary column is N. So write a solution to report all employees with their primary department. For employees who belong to one department, report their only department and return the result table in any order. So let me give you a brief of this question through this example. So here we can see that we have four employees, employee with the employee ID 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, in the employee ID column. And we have the corresponding department ID and the primary flag of for that particular employee. In the output, we want employee ID with the corresponding department ID. Okay, and we want only the primary department. And the criteria for primary department is that if the flag is Y in the primary flag column, then the corresponding department is said to be the primary department of that particular. So you can see that basically. Okay, and the other thing is that if for a particular employee ID, if we have only one row, then the corresponding department ID is said to be primary department. Then we do not need to consider the primary flag. Okay, so here you can say that basically for employee ID one, basically we have only one record, so the corresponding department ID is said to be the primary department. Okay, for two we have two records basically. So we'll look in the primary flag column which holds the value of y. So the record first record holds the value of y. That's why the department ID will be one written in the out. Similarly for three, we have only one record, so the corresponding department ID 3 will be written. For 4, we have three records, but for only one record, we have the primary flag value as y. So we return the corresponding department ID in the output. Okay. So how to write the query for the same basically. So for writing a query, we will consider two things basically. First of all, we will check basically if the particular user or employee has only one record in the table, then just return the corresponding department ID. Elsewise, return the department ID where the primary flag value is Y. So for that, basically, okay, let's select what we need to go is the employee ID. So we'll just get the employee ID, and then we have department ID. Okay, these two things we need to get from. So we'll use a subquery over here. So this subquery is let me write the subquery and I will then explain you. So here we'll select employee ID. Okay, primary employee ID, department ID. Let me copy this from here. We want department ID. We want primary flag value. Then we'll use a Windows function. So we'll use a count Windows function basically, and we'll count it over the partition by employee ID as CNT, okay, from the employee table. From employee table. This will give us as T. Okay. Yeah. So what we are doing over here in this subquery, what we are doing basically, we are just getting the employee ID, department ID, primary flag column. Also, we are using a Windows function count basically to get the corresponding count of records we have for each employee. So here count of star will get the number of records we have for the particular employee ID. How? Because we are partitioning it by the employee ID, and we are storing it in a column named CNT. So CNT will hold the number of records for the particular employee ID. So if the employee ID one has only one record, so count star will be one basically, and the CNT will hold the one for the employee ID one basically. For employee ID two, we have two records. So the CNT column will hold the value of two. So that's the reason why we are using this filters function over here. And from this table, we are getting the employee ID and department ID, and we are filtering it by when the CNT equals to 1 or your primary flag column has a value of y. So the where in the filter condition, we are checking if the CNT equals to 1 or the primary flag column has a value of y, then return the corresponding employee ID and department ID. So what happened in this case basically, when the CNT is equals to 1 means that particular employee ID has only one record. So if it is has only one record, then just return the corresponding department ID. So we don't need to go through this second condition, check the second condition. Elsewise, for you can see that for employee ID two, basically we have two records. So this condition will fail. CNT equal to one condition will fail because CNT equal to two at that particular point of time. Okay. Now we will check the second condition. Just check whether the primary flag has the value of y. So yes, for the second record, we have a primary flag value of y for department ID one. So department ID one will be there. So that's it. So this is how we are just using the Windows function count basically and partitioning it by the corresponding employee ID to get the number of records we have for each employee basically. And we are checking in the where clause where when the count is equals to one and the particular number of record for each employee is one basically, then return the department ID. Elsewise, just check basically which column for which department ID we have a primary flag value as y and just return that particular department ID. So when we run this table, you can see that our query got accepted. The desired output matches with the expected output. Yeah, so that's it. So guys, if you have any doubt or if you are not understood this particular query, just write it down in the comment section and do press the like button and subscribe button. Basically, this will help me basically to make more videos on this. So yeah, thank you.